Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Magic, the flagship podcast of 407 and Beyond Vacation Company, where we bring you the magic of Disney and Universal vacations week after week. Every week, we're going to take you through the parks, the resorts, the dining, anything that we think could be applicable to your vacation. We're going to take you through it. We're going to give you some tips and tricks, and this is your all-access pass to the stories, the tips, and the fun that bring your Disney and Universal vacations to life. So, without further ado, let's go back to the magic. I'm Rick, one of your hosts, and I'm joined, as always, with my thankful co-host Gina. How are you?
I am thankful. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm thankful for each and every one of these listeners. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for everything this year. It's a good year.
It is a good year.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm thankful for pretty much the same things.
Yeah. I guess we announced it last week, so now we're allowed to say, I'm thankful for the babies in my belly.
Yeah, true.
If you missed last week's episode, go listen. There's a fun announcement on there.
If you didn't get it from that.
Spoiler alert.
Even though you literally just said it. But yes, it is Thanksgiving if you're listening to the day this comes out. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy
if you're
Thanksgiving.
driving, if you're going to family, just be safe out there and have a great day.
If you're driving and listening on Spotify, make sure you have the video portion turned off now.
Yeah, for sure.
We're strictly on audio.
I'm wearing a brown shirt. Gina's wearing a purple shirt. You're not missing much.
We're festive.
We're festive.
I have my Thanksgiving earrings on.
I did go brown because of Thanksgiving. So.
I went purple because it fits me right now, but also I feel like purple, like a dark purple, is like Thanksgiving-y. Like it's fall, you know?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I get it.
I'm wearing green tomorrow, like a dark green.
Yeah, that's not Christmas at all.
I'm fine with that. It's fine. No, it's like
it's like a Christmas tree green.
No, it's like the kind of green that goes nice with brown for Thanksgiving.
So I should wear this tomorrow?
Yeah, you can wear that tomorrow. It looks nice. Why not? Wear whatever you want. You're eating food. You're sitting around a table with your own family eating food.
That's true.
Wear whatever you want.
Definitely wearing sweatpants. Anyway, we are here today to give you guys our review. So our last trip, we did do a brief recap. We really didn't go through too much detail, but we talked to you guys about our capture your moment stuff, and we did give some brief details about our extended stay. But this past trip, we were lucky enough to stay at the Art of Animation Resort on Disney property, and we are giving you our review today.
Yes. So we do this rating scale. If you're new and have never heard it before,
Welcome.
It's a kind of weird rating scale, but it's out of 70. It makes sense if you go way back to when we first did it. There are 7 categories, and we rate each of them out of 10, which is why it became out of 70.
Yep.
And then we'll give you the little average of it after and everything. So far, we've done Beach Club, Pop Century, the Polynesian, the Riviera, Old Key West. We've done some really great Disney resorts, and I'm excited to add Art of Animation to the list of resorts that not only we have stayed at, but that we are rating.
Yeah, me too.
So it's a pretty, fair rating system, I feel like, if I don't say so myself, where it's kind of like, first of all, it's the two of us are both giving our reasoning as to why. So you can kind of make your decision off of there. But also we're rating everything from food to transportation, the room itself, the theming, everything. So.
Yeah, and like Gina said, we're going to talk through things. So if you disagree with one of our opinions, just keep listening, because the other person might change their opinion. It's happened plenty of times before. So
yeah, absolutely.
We're going to talk things out. We're going to go through it with each other, because we haven't talked about our ratings before recording this. We just did it, and then we're going to talk about it right now. So
yes. All right. So without further ado, Art of Animation Resort.
Welcome.
So I'm going to read you guys a description from Disney of what Art of Animation Resort is, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. So, be surrounded in the artistry, enchantment, and magic of Disney and Pixar movies. Stay at a Disney Resort hotel that invites you to explore the storybook landscapes seen in such classics as Finding Nemo, Cars, The Lion King, and The Little Mermaid. From delightfully themed family suites to wondrously detailed courtyards, Disney's Art of Animation draws you and your family in to become part of some of your animated favorites.
Draws, I get it.
Yeah, it's punny. They did really good there. And I have to say, this is a pretty good and accurate description. So there are 4.
I would say so.
Yeah. So there are 4 sections of this hotel. There's Finding Nemo, Cars, The Lion King, and The Little Mermaid.
Yes.
Finding Nemo, Cars, and The Lion King are all family suites that can sleep up to 6 adults. The Little Mermaid section, that is where the rooms are a basic standard studio that can sleep up to 4 adults. Yes. They are just 2 queen beds in those. So a little bit different on that. One of the biggest things to note that you get with the family suites is you do get 2 bathrooms in those and a kitchenette.
That's big.
Yes, huge. Because you could say like, oh, well, if you get a connecting room in a standard studio, then you get 2 bathrooms, but you don't get a kitchenette. There is a kitchenette in the family suites. Also, there's a full living area that has a pull down bed in it. Like there is a lot that comes from a family suite versus a connecting room. We actually stayed in the Little Mermaid section in a connecting room. We had a connecting room with Rick's sister.
Yeah. Standard room, sleeps 4. So I am a big proponent of, if you're staying for a decent amount of time at Disney, get a room with a kitchenette because it's awesome. But we were only there for the weekend. At least in this resort, we were only there for the weekend. So we didn't really need much, but we just had the regular studio room. And I thought it was great.
Yeah, we can go right into the rating. What did you think?
You want to just go right into the room rating?
Yeah.
Okay. So I gave the room a 6. And the reason I gave it a 6 is there's a few things that I had a bit of an issue with. One, most of it was actually in the bathroom, believe it or not. So the biggest issue that I had, which I've noticed a few times now, I noticed it at what did we say, at the Dolphin or the Swan?
Dolphin.
The Dolphin. It was an issue there, and I think it was an issue at one of the other resorts that we stayed at. You can't open the bathroom door without almost hitting the toilet.
The Dolphin did hit the toilet.
The Dolphin did hit the toilet.
Yes.
And it's like, if you're trying to get into the bathroom, you have to fully open the door, walk past the toilet, go around the door, like, as you're closing it. It's super inconvenient. It's one of those things where, like, it just bothers me.
It's a very small space.
Yeah, it's just a very small space. And then the other thing with the bathroom was, I get it. We stayed in the Little Mermaid room. It was awesome. The theming was great. We'll get to that. I felt like I was drowning in that shower.
The water pressure was...
It was insane.
I never thought I would complain about too much water pressure, actually, because it's something that I look for in a hotel room, and it was too much water pressure. It hurt. Like, I can't imagine if you had sunburn.
Oh, yeah. If you had sunburn, that's going to hurt real bad.
It hurt to the point where I was, like, hiding in the corner, just using soap, and then, like, quickly going under to rinse off because it physically hurt to stand under the water.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like we just got lucky and we were there on a high water pressure day or what, but I went under that water and for some reason I opened my mouth by accident, I guess. And I just literally, like, within a second, my mouth was full of water and I felt like I was drowning. It was crazy. So that was like my big issue with the room. Besides that, it really wasn't that bad. The only other thing is I get that it was probably for the room theming itself, but I didn't like that it wasn't carpet.
That's a new thing hotels are all doing. They're getting rid of the carpets because it's cleaner, and like if people have allergies and things like that, they think it's cleaner to have the hardwood. I personally like carpet when I get up in the morning. We don't have carpet in our bedroom. We have a rug, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But I wish our bedroom had carpet. Like, I hate that all houses are hardwood now. This is my unpopular opinion in the world, I think, because if most people nowadays like hardwood everything.
Yeah.
I like carpet.
I like carpet too.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for the carpet to come in our house.
But no, I do agree with you. That is annoying, but that is a new thing hotels are doing.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't take off any points because of that.
I feel like we've stayed at other hotels that do still have carpet,
Yes,
which is why I did take off points for it.
Okay.
So yeah, overall not bad, pretty standard. So the reason that I did what I did, I gave mine a 6. I forget if I said that. I gave it a 6. The reason that I say that is because for me, like, an average hotel room is like a 7. Like, if it's like I have no issues with the hotel room, everything is pretty much exactly what you expect from a standard hotel room, that's a 7. And just the fact that the bathroom felt so small and the fact that it was it felt like porcelain almost. Like, it was kind of cold when you stepped on it. Those floors just took off 1 point for me.
I thought you were going to complain because the blinds were broken when we got there and you had to fix them.
That happens.
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree. That was going to be my argument to you. It's like, there was also a spider in our room. It happens. You're in Florida.
Yeah,
there's bugs.
The curtains were like off and it was like, I just had to get on a chair and slide it back in. It wasn't
Pop it on the track.
I could see why someone might be annoyed by that, but it didn't bother me.
No. Okay, well, I gave it an 8.
Okay.
I also wanted to account for the family suites, which we weren't staying in,
That's
but
fair.
we've seen them, we've been in them, our friends have stayed in them. We unfortunately have not actually stayed in them yet, partially because I'm too cheap. Not gonna lie.
Makes sense.
We'll get to that when we get to the price of this resort. But the family suites, I feel like, deserve points. They are huge.
Okay.
This is a value resort. This is one of the cheaper resorts. The family suites are a good way to save money while still being able to stay on Disney property with a larger group.
Okay.
Kind of. Again, we'll get to that. Like, but the size of them is great. The function of them is great. The 2 bathrooms, sleeps 6 adults, has a kitchenette, like all of that, fantastic. Now, going to our room specifically, my biggest complaint as far as if you were staying in the Little Mermaid room, we knew this going in. Rick's sister didn't, and she was really annoyed about it. The Little Mermaid rooms are on the complete other side of the resort from everything. The family suites are closer to everything, which if you factor in the price difference, it should be that way.
Yeah.
Like, our room was about half the price, if not less than half, of what the family suites cost. So yes, we should be the ones that are walking farther to the food and to the Skyliner and to the buses and everything. But it is a pretty decent walk. It's a nice walk, but it is a decent walk. We're there in November, not August. So that makes a big difference as far as the comfort of the walk, I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was a little warm, but not too bad.
Yeah, but not too bad. But the room itself, I really liked. Having the connecting room option was fantastic. The one reason that I took off a point was value resorts nowadays, a lot of them have the beds that lift up, the Murphy beds, which gives you a lot of space. This didn't have it. I liked that it didn't have it because the theming of the room was great.
Yeah.
But it is a really nice perk that makes the room feel a lot bigger. So the room did feel kind of small because you do get used to that, I feel like.
I guess, yeah.
It didn't feel crazy small. It definitely felt like a decent sized room. Like, I didn't feel squished in there at any point.
Yeah, I was gonna
But also,
say.
there was only 2 of us.
Yeah, that's fair. It is kind of nice when it like folds up into the wall and becomes like a couch almost.
Or a table. It's usually a table with the value resorts.
Okay, yeah. But I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, so something
But
like
again,
that makes a difference.
I didn't feel that cramped because
Okay.
it was just the 2 of us.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
And then the other thing I want to talk about that I really liked, normally I would say like that this shouldn't really count in this category, but I think that it should. The theming of the room. I'm not rating the theming right now. I'm rating the room. But I loved how engulfed in the theme of the resort you were, even when you were still in the room. And I hate to compare the resorts when we're doing these things, but I feel like, again, this is somewhere where it needs to be compared. The value resorts now have all been redone, that they're all like the same copy paste room.
Yeah.
You could drop someone in All-Star Music and they wouldn't know which All-Stars they were in.
Okay.
You can drop someone in a random section in Pop Century and they'd have no idea what section they were in if they were in the room. Like, you can't tell once you're in the rooms. And this room, we were engulfed in the Little Mermaid. There was fish on the headboard. There was a picture of Prince Eric on the wall. Like, we were in an under the sea themed room, and that's how all of the rooms in every section are. And I feel like that is worth it, and it really enhances the room.
So I'm gonna stick with my 6 because I did not include theme in my room.
Okay.
Because we haven't done that before. So,
well, I'm not including theme in the room. I'm just saying it made me enjoy, when I think about how I enjoyed the room as a whole, it makes it it made me enjoy it more. I'm not saying the theme of the room is an 8. I'm saying the room is an 8, and the theming of it is part of the reason why I liked it so much and why I'm willing to give it such a high score, especially when you consider the fact that each of the family suites are also themed like that.
Okay.
It makes the room worth it to me.
Okay.
But the rooms, they were decent sized. The family suites are definitely decent sized. And they were good rooms. But the water pressure hurt.
Yeah. All right, what do you want to do next?
Food.
Okay. I'm a little low on food, not going to lie. I actually gave food a 6 as well. Not because of the quality of food, but because of the lack of options of food, which is normal for value resorts. Yes. Don't get me wrong. But it still does kind of like irk me a little bit that you have the main like cafeteria area almost and then like a pool bar, and that's the only options you have for food,
and they're right next to each other.
They're right next to each other. So that's most of the reason that I gave it a 6, because that actually took a lot of points off for me, because I guess I'm just spoiled and used to the resorts that have more food options at this point. The food itself was really good. I actually might pump it up to a 7. I don't know. We'll figure it. We'll see when we talk more.
Okay.
But the food was really good. We had mostly breakfast here, and I got the same thing like 2 mornings in a row. And I would have gotten it 3 if I got it the first day, but I didn't.
You got something else.
Yeah, so I got the loaded tots the first day, which was like a normal loaded tots. It had sausage gravy and like all the eggs and everything like that. And then the second day I got an avocado like loaded bowl or something like that. And it had like avocado, it had beans, like it was really good and it tasted really fresh. And that was what I got the other 2 days. The other thing I thought was really good was the coffee cake that I had the first day that we got there.
Phenomenal.
It was really good coffee cake.
They have a really good bakery case at Art of Animation. They do at a lot of the value resorts. Their bakery cases are pretty good, but Art of Animation's is definitely delicious.
Yeah, they had a lot of really good options there. And then, like I said, we didn't have as much experience with the dinner. I think we had dinner there once, right?
Yes.
And it was good, but we didn't really get to try a lot of the different options. They all did look good, though, from what I saw, because obviously we scoped it all out.
Yeah.
And it all looked good. So, yeah, that's why I'm at a 6 right now. I might bump it up to a 7 depending on if you convince me or not.
Okay. So
where are you at?
We had all of those meals, and I've actually eaten there before a few times, and I think Art of Animation's food never disappoints. It's the landscape of flavors. That's what they call their little cafeteria area. And they have a decent amount of options. They definitely have something for everybody. But I also went kind of lower. Not lower, but I gave it a 7.
Okay.
It's the fact that there's that or the pool bar, and the pool bar is just like sandwiches and chicken fingers and pizza.
Yeah.
So basically
Basic
the same
stuff
you can get right inside. So that's more of just the convenience of not having to go inside. But yeah, the cafeteria, it's great. There are options for everyone. I feel like the food is consistently good. There's never really too big of an issue. The portion sizes are decent for what you're getting. You can get whole pizzas if you want, if you just want to feed the whole fam for like 20 something bucks. Nice and easy, just get a whole pizza. Now, the issue I have with it is like, because it is the only thing, like when you're there at the prime time, it can take a really long time.
Yeah, it was crowded there.
Like when we went at 7 a.m., we had no issue. When we went at 9 a.m., oh my goodness, it was mobbed.
Took forever.
Same thing with like the end of the night. Like when it's prime dinner time, crowded. End of the night after the park closes, pretty crowded also, because that's when everyone's coming back and getting food to go back to their room or before the end of the night. So if you're hitting it in off times, it's so nice. You walk up, you get food, you leave. But it's those prime times for breakfast and dinner and end of the night that it's like a little overwhelming how crowded it actually can get, because there's a lot of people at this resort.
Yeah,
Even the mobile order.
As an example for you guys to understand a little bit, the one day we were going in late. We were going to Epcot that day, so we were going in a little bit later. And before we hopped on the Skyliner, I was going to go get some breakfast. So I placed a mobile order, and I left a little bit early because I was like, I'll get it and then I'll meet everybody. It took like, what did it take, 20 at least minutes?
After you put that you were there.
After I put that I was there, for me to get a bowl with tater tots and eggs in it.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it was because it was so crowded. It wasn't because like they were just being slow. There was just so many people there, and they had so many orders to get through that it was insane. The one positive thing I will say about this, and maybe I'm misremembering the All-Stars and the other value resorts and other hotels, but I felt like there was more soda machines and like coffee areas at this cafeteria than other ones, because there was like the big one in the middle that had 2 on each side, and they had multiple coffee and tea spots, and then there was the other one off to the back, like near the back door.
There might be more than there are at the All-Stars. I think it's about the same as Pop Century.
Okay.
Because I'm picturing All-Star Sports right now. Yeah, there is more there than there are at All-Star Sports.
But like even during the crowded times, like the ones that we were talking about, I didn't notice any like crazy lines. There's maybe like 1 or 2 people waiting for a coffee, but like there wasn't like a giant line of people waiting to fill up their coffee. So
no, the lines were all at the
that
food.
did feel good.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's delicious. I think it's consistently good. I think there's something for everybody. But it is just that one spot plus a pool bar, real basic food. But it gets the job done.
Yeah, you're not going to get like anything crazy like if you go to like the Grand Floridian, how they have like the
character dining,
sit-down
restaurants.
Like yeah, so that's why it doesn't get super high, because there's nothing special, but it is good. It is consistent. Like you
even
said.
if you think of, so we'll get into recreation next, actually. But if you think of somewhere like Saratoga Springs that has multiple pools, at each of those pools, a lot of them have pool bars where you can order food. So this one has multiple pools, but only one pool bar. So you do have to go that extra mile, which sometimes it really does feel like that because this resort is pretty big.
Yeah, it was a pretty big resort.
Yeah. All right, so recreation. Oh, are you keeping your 6?
I think I'm going to keep 6, yeah.
You're going to keep 6? Okay.
I'm going to keep 6.
I actually might have talked myself down, but I'm going to leave it at 7.
I'm going to keep 6. I think I like that number.
But I like how good the food is, and I think that the bakery cases at value resorts, especially Art of Animation, is slept on. So
I felt like theirs was bigger than other ones, I'm just saying.
Might have been.
Maybe. Anyway, recreation.
Recreation.
What'd you got?
All right, so recreation and Art of Animation. There's actually a decent amount of recreation, but like all the other value resorts, it is kind of a make your own fun recreation.
Yeah.
So there are the pools. There are 3 pools. There's the big blue pool, which is located right in the center of the resort, right by the main building. And it is the biggest resort pool on Disney property.
For some reason, I was underwhelmed.
Probably because I talked it up to you about how big this pool
you were
was.
like, this is the biggest pool almost ever, except for the one that just got built. And I'm like, wow, this pool must be huge. And then honestly, it felt smaller than the Yacht Beach Club pool.
No, that's because that's multiple pools.
I know, but like
that's like the way around.
But you
it.
can get to different areas. I felt like in that pool. Anyway.
Yeah, so for a little bit, it was the biggest pool in Florida, I believe, at any resort. And then this other one opened recently, and now it's not. But now it is still the biggest pool on Disney property.
Yeah.
It is a pretty big pool. Don't let Rick fool you.
No, it is. It's a big pool.
It's a big pool.
I think it was talked up too much.
They also have the Cozy Cone pool, which is a Cars theme pool that has the Cozy Cone motels around it.
Super cool.
Which is pretty cool. They are cabanas, and they are first come, first serve. It's not renting them like it is at other resorts, which is pretty cool. And then there's the Flippin' Fins pool, which is the Little Mermaid pool. So our hotel room might have been a mile away, but there was a pool right there.
Yes.
So you didn't have to go all the way back to the main pool if you didn't want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there are 3 pools. In addition to that, there are the normal children's activities, which are the Disney cast members who run activities throughout the day. Usually at the main pool, it'll be trivia, it'll be bingo, different games for the little kids. They also have things you can purchase, usually like Mickey tie-dye, and you can do those as little extra activities while you're at the resort. They also did campfires. Which we did roast the marshmallows. They were delicious, really good marshmallows, I gotta say. And they have movies under the stars. So all of these things are pretty standard at Disney hotels. Not gonna lie to you. They have jogging trails. They have a playground, the Righteous Reef playground in the Finding Nemo area. And they had an arcade. So again, all of these things are pretty standard at Disney resorts. There's not much extra here. The fact that there are 3 pools, that is pretty big. There are also 3 guarded pools, which isn't normal.
Yeah, usually there's one guarded pool, right?
Yes.
And there's a few smaller ones. These are all pretty big pools.
So all in all, I gave it a 6.
Okay.
I think that the recreation they have is fantastic. Like with the children's activities, the playground, the splash areas, the pools, all of that is fantastic, but I don't think it's anything to write home about.
Yeah, so I gave it a 7. Because like I said at the beginning of the episode, for me the standard is kind of like if it's what I expect and pretty average, it's getting a 7. And like you said, this resort has mostly the same things that other resorts have, with the exception of the 2 bigger guarded pools. That does help it a little bit, but I'm still going to say 7 because for the most part, it is just standard Disney hotel stuff.
Yeah. Not anything too crazy, not
which
anything
isn't a bad thing. It's
No.
not a bad thing because let's be honest, most of the times when you're a family there, and you're in Disney World, you're there for the parks, and like you might have 1 or 2 pool days while you're there, but you won't run out of stuff to do at a resort like this.
And that's kind of why the value resorts tend to score lower on recreation, because a lot of the people and a lot of the families who are staying at the value resorts are going open to close at the parks. They're not spending time at the resorts really.
It's a place to sleep.
Yeah, they're literally just looking for a place to rest their head. So like that's why the value resorts do tend to score lower on recreation. And I think it's fair. Why should Disney invest all of this money if it's barely going to get used?
100%.
Or not get used to the extent that it would somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because you can feel the difference between the value resorts and the deluxe resorts when it comes to what people are doing outside of the parks, like what they are doing at the resorts. It is a lot more go at the value resorts. A lot more of people getting up, going to the parks, and coming home. You can tell it's not as much of people just sitting there lounging in the grass or on the beach like you see at Old Key West. Like it's not the same, I feel like. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Why? Like it's a perfect spot to rest your head and still get all the Disney perks.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Theming or transportation?
Transportation.
Okay, I also wanted to say theming. Go ahead.
So I gave it an 8.
Nice.
Excluding the few days or weeks, whatever it is that the Skyliner is going to be closed. What is it, January?
Yeah. It's usually January.
Yeah, you can go check the Disney website. It's like the first thing that pops up. That's going to be closed for refurbishment for like 3 weeks. But
no, it's usually only like a week.
Is it?
Let me see if it's written on there.
It is. It's like right at the top.
Yeah, January 25th through the 31st. Yeah, it's 1 week.
Yeah, so just be aware of that. But when the Skyliner is open, this is definitely an 8. And the same reason that all the other Skyliner resorts are 8. You have 8 or higher. You have so many options for transportation that it just makes it so easy to get where you need to be.
Okay.
The only reason I gave it an 8 instead of anything higher is because specifically in the room that we were in, it is a very long walk to any form of transportation. Like some of the resorts, you can get lucky and like there's a cut through or like you're just close to things with certain rooms. I didn't feel that way about this. Like there was no shortcut for us to get to the buses. It was we have to walk however far we had to walk.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason that I got points off. But I think that is a pretty big one because if you're going and you're trying to spend the least amount of money and you're going to go for the cheapest room, you're going to be in the one that we were in. And you're going to have to walk a little bit to get to transportation. But once you get to transportation, the world is your oyster. You have all the options that you want, basically.
Yeah, I gave it a 8 as well, actually.
Okay.
I think it's great that you have the buses for 2 parks and Disney Springs. I think you have the Skyliner for 2 parks. I agree that there are bad rooms as far as transportation goes. There are rooms that are tough to get to transportation.
Yeah.
And if you're going for the cheaper rooms, it's going to be a longer walk for transportation.
Yeah.
You're going to feel it. There is not a quick way. The Hourglass Lake is shaped like an hourglass and makes it real awkward to walk.
Yeah.
Makes the walk feel way longer than it needs to.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm changing mine. I had a 7.5 up to an 8 while you were talking. And now I remember why I had a 7.5. Because just like the food, how crowded it can get in the morning, the Skyliner can get that way as well. And
That's
the
true.
line for the Skyliner can be absurd. And I feel like it still moves pretty quick. But sometimes it would be a lot easier if there was just multiple buses coming nonstop.
Yeah.
Like, because that is, when you say like the All-Stars, for example, and there's bus, because they can line it up first thing in the morning to have 3 buses for Hollywood Studios come back to back.
Yeah.
They get everyone on it.
Yeah.
So the Skyliner can get pretty backed up because it is a shared spot with Pop Century.
Yeah. And then you also have to go to the hub.
Yes.
Which is even more crowded.
Yes. You're not just sitting on there until you get to the park. You have to then transfer no matter what when you're staying at Art of Animation. I will say when we got to the hub itself wasn't crowded. Mm-hmm. It was just where we were, where it was a shared spot with Art of Animation and Pop
Just
Century.
because the 2 resorts are sharing.
Yeah, by the time we got to the hub, it really wasn't too bad and we hopped right on. But that also can depend on the day and the people that week.
Yeah.
You could have a group of people. You could have the people who are in Disney that week or all people who sleep in, and the next week it's everyone who's rope dropping. So you never really know what you're going to get. But when it is those prime hours early in the morning, it can get pretty backed up. And then at park close, it can get pretty backed up as well. We waited in that line. It took about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I prefer the backup of the Skyliner than the backup of the bus pretty much any day of the week because you're moving. Yeah. Like the Skyliner line might be incredibly long. Like we've seen it at Hollywood Studios where it's like woven all the way through the thing and then it's like 500 feet out the back of the exit. But like since the Skyliner is moving so consistently and especially at those busy times, they will pack you on as many people as they can get. It moves so fast and it makes it feel like you're not waiting as long.
Yeah, I agree. When you're just walking, it definitely helps it.
Yeah.
Now, I do wish this is something that no value resorts have this. There are no value resorts that you can walk to a park.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and no value resorts with a boat to a park.
Yeah.
So neither of those are options. It's just the bus and the Skyliner. But for a value resort to have that extra option of the Skyliner, pretty nice.
Yeah.
Just get backed up. So just remember that.
Yeah. So that's why I gave it an 8 because as far as a value resort goes, it does have a little bit more in the way of transportation and you're a little bit closer to some things, but it's not perfect.
No, nothing's perfect. That's actually a lie. I do have something here that's perfect.
I do too.
Is it the theming?
It is the theming.
I think the theming of Art of Animation is a 10 out of 10.
If I could give it 100 out of 10, I would.
Yes. Of all of the resorts on Disney property, the theming of Art of Animation is top tier.
Yes.
You will feel like Disney threw up on you in the best way. Like this is what you're paying for and you're getting it. And it's not just in the room. It's not just in the main building. Although you are greeted with Disney as soon as you pull up.
Yep.
And then you go in the main building and you are greeted with more Disney everywhere. And then you are walking to your room and there are larger than life statues and emblems on the walls. Emblems is not the right word. What is the word I'm looking for?
have no idea.
I don't know either. And statues and things just on the walls and all over. We literally walked through the elephant graveyard from The Lion King.
I was going to mention that. It was really cool.
The theming at Art of Animation is going to make you and your children feel like they are fully engulfed in whatever Disney movie section they are in that moment.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. When we walked into the building, I was like, yeah, we're going to stay here again. Because if anybody listening to the podcast for a while knows that I'm a big fan of like art, especially Disney art. I like it. It's really cool. We walked in and it was like a film strip of just like movie things on the wall. And then you walk into the cafeteria area and there's stuff all over the place and there's a TV going with movies on. And like Gina said, you walk out, you go to the pool. The pool has all these giant Finding Nemo characters. There's a giant Crush. Everybody's there. We're walking to our room. And like Gina said, we're going through the elephant graveyard. Timon and Pumbaa are walking across a log on top of us with Simba. Like, everywhere you turn is just Disney movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then
your kid can go and take a picture with a full-size Lightning McQueen and Mater. Like, when you go to the car section, you are actually in what feels like a Radiator Springs type of area. Like, it's crazy. It's so good.
There's a little play area outside, like where Finding Nemo is, where it's like a little jungle gym. They have like slides and everything that the kids can go play on, and it's fully themed. It looks like there's like coral and sea urchins and stuff like that all over the place. Really cool. The theming's amazing. We already talked about the room a little bit. The theming of the room was a 10 out of 10. You walk in and it's like, yeah, this is Little Mermaid. I mean, they had the music playing in the background when you walked into the room.
The music on the TV was Little Mermaid.
And I was kind of nervous that it was going to be there the whole time, but then we changed the channel and it wasn't, so that was good. But it was like, everything was just like top notch as far as theming went.
And the fact that the theming carried into the rooms also, I really loved that about it.
Yeah. And the fact that you can go through so many different themed areas just in this one resort, I thought was cool as well.
You can pick your kid's favorite. If you have a kid who's obsessed with The Little Mermaid and you pick the Little Mermaid rooms, or if you have a kid who's obsessed with Lightning McQueen and now you're in the Cars rooms, like, that is such a magical thing to get to experience that with a little kid, to get to watch them. They're meeting their hero in that aspect.
Yeah.
Like, that is crazy. That's so fun.
And the other thing too with it that I really like about it is there's 3 different sections of this hotel as far as the theme goes. There's four different sections. The Little Mermaid, there is Lion King, there's Cars, and there's Finding Nemo, right?
Yes.
You could stay at this hotel 4 different times and it would feel like a different experience, because one time you're staying and you're walking through all the Little Mermaid stuff. You're passing King Triton, you're under the sea, and the next time you stay there, you're walking through the jungle and Timon and Pumbaa are right next to you. Like, it can feel like a different experience every time. At least in the actual hotel buildings, in the rooms, not necessarily the main common areas, obviously. But it's just like really well done, and I thought it was perfect.
I thought it was too. And I've said it before on the podcast, I'll say it again. I love that Disney threw up on you feeling.
Especially at the value resorts.
Especially at the value resorts. I think there's a time and place for them. The value resorts are it. Now, you could feel this with the amount of children that were around.
Yeah,
the last few times we've gone, we've stayed at deluxe resorts, and I have to say, there's definitely more kids at Art of Animation than any deluxe resort we've ever stayed at. And honestly, even any value resort we've ever stayed at. Like, I think parents are willing to spend the extra to stay in a room that their kid is obsessed with, because there was a lot of kids, especially for November.
Yeah.
Like, school's back, and there was still a lot of kids there, but it was still, I mean, it's Disney. What do you expect? Like, but that's something to consider if you are trying to convince someone who doesn't like kids to go to Disney. Art of Animation is probably not the place to go.
Probably not, no. But yeah, you think about it.
We love kids. We were all for it.
Yeah, but you think about it, it's like all 4 of those things, excluding the Little Mermaid probably, are like phases that little kids will go through if they're growing up in a Disney household. Like, they'll be in a Lion King phase.
I wouldn't exclude Little Mermaid, because you got a little princess obsessed girl.
I guess, but I feel like I feel like it's kind of shifted to like the Frozens and the Tianas. Like, I saw like 1 or 2 Ariels while I was there, and I saw like 100 Elsas and Tianas. Like,
I don't know. I've never met a redheaded little girl who didn't tell me her favorite was the Little Mermaid. It was Ariel.
I want to meet one that tells me her favorite is Meredith, though.
Ellie's is Cinderella, funny enough.
Yeah, but she's not redhead.
What?
She's not redhead.
Ellie?
No, Cinderella.
Oh, no, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, she was the first redhead I've ever met that wasn't Ariel.
Yeah. So, but yeah, kids go through those phases. So
Yeah.
it's super easy to just be like, all right, well, they're in their cars phase. Let's go stay here. And then I'll go sit in a cozy cone
While they go
bungalow
swimming
all day. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All right,
So yeah,
now
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 on the theming. But now let's talk about the price. This is actually where I rated it the lowest.
Okay.
I rated the price of 5.
Okay.
So, for example, for everybody, I picked a random Monday to Friday in July of 2026, okay?
Okay.
This is strictly weeknights. The Little Mermaid Standard Room, $281 a night. That's a lot of money. The Family Suites, $565 a night. $578 a night. $622 a night. Those are the different options for the family suite prices. I just can't be convinced.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to be convinced that that could be worth it. If it's in your budget and your kid is obsessed with these characters, yes, it can definitely be worth it. But I don't know. I just feel like there's so much I want to do with $565 a night. And if instead I can stay at the All-Stars for $180 a night, which is what I'm seeing, that's $100 a night difference.
Yeah.
Or Pop Century, which is right across the lake and is still on the Skyliner, $226 a night. Coronado Springs, somehow that same week, is actually cheaper than the standard room at Art of Animation. Caribbean Beach is cheaper. So it's just kind of hard for me to justify it when there are cheaper options, unless I had a kid who was obsessed with the characters, or unless they had a really good deal going, or unless that was in my budget from the beginning, that I was going to be spending $500+ a night to stay in a family suite because there's 6 of us, we need more space. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But also, like, you have to consider, do I want to stay in a family suite, or do I want to get connecting rooms at All-Star Movies, which is going to cost me 180 times 320, 360. That's $200 off a night. That's $1,000 for 5 nights. Like, that's a big difference. So for me, the price doesn't really justify.
Makes sense.
What it is, or the room doesn't justify the price. The location doesn't justify the price. The size, like, nothing justifies the price to me.
Yeah.
I'm so confused by the price. I don't really get Disney's logic. The only thing I can think of is that they're banking on people paying for the theming.
And
the Skyliner. Yeah.
Skyliner is a big one.
So I am not a fan of the price. It's why it took so long for us to stay here. Mm-hmm. And it's why, although I do think we will be back again, I don't know if it's going to be for a very long time. Probably until our kids, one of them is obsessed with something in this resort.
Yeah.
And we're out of Disney Vacation Club points.
Yeah, exactly.
And no one can rent Disney Vacation Club points to us. Like, there's going to be a lot of
factors, yeah.
And factors to get us back there, because me being a cheap person or a more frugal person with our money, I just have trouble justifying the cost that comes with this resort unless they have a really good deal out or any of those other factors are met.
Makes sense. I will say I looked in the spring when I looked up this resort, and there was like a 25% off deal going. So the prices I saw were a little cheaper. So I actually bumped my price down a little bit because I didn't think about it. So I'm at a 6.
You're at a 6.
Yeah, I was at a 7 because I saw the discounted prices, and I was like, that's pretty good. And now that we're looking at these, I'm like, we'll go 6.
Well, and the cool thing is Disney normally does have discounts going, but like the weekend that we were there, we booked it and we were like, cool, once they announce a discount, we'll go back and get it applied.
Didn't get one.
Never got one. Nothing ever applied. They announced a discount and we didn't qualify for it. Yeah. And we called that day, and it was just the way that our dates lined up, we didn't qualify. It's not like we were like too late for it and it sold out or anything.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider too. Like, you could hope for a discount, and probably like 90% of the time, like, one will appear. Mm-hmm. But you have to actively go get it, or you'll have to have your 407 agent actively go get it. But with this stay that we had, one didn't appear, which was baffling to me.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Because I don't know if I've ever had that happen. So we actually did what we tell you guys not to do all the time and paid rack rate for a room. So call us crazy.
All right. Last category.
Okay.
Overall, what are we thinking? Where you at?
I gave it an 8.
Okay.
So for the overall experience, everybody, our logic is you cannot, like, say, oh, but for the price, for this, for that, just while you were there, how much fun did you have?
Uh-huh.
And mine was an 8.
Okay.
My fun level was an 8 at most times. It was honestly the only times that I was like, ugh, was the walks. Like, it's a big resort.
Yeah, it is a big
I
resort.
mean, even at the end of the night, at one point, our plan was to get back and just like go wander around the resort. And the idea of having to walk back to our room was so
Yeah, it was like, we can't do
daunting
more steps.
that we ended up not walking around the resort like we wanted to on our last night.
Yeah.
Because we were just like, we're exhausted and this resort's too big to go wander.
Yeah. No, I'm at an 8 as well overall. Yeah. It was a good time, a good experience. I've had better times and better experiences, but it wasn't bad. I had fun most of the time that we were there, unless I was in the shower. And
if anyone just tuned in though, like that sounded so weird.
It probably did, but go listen to the rest of the episode. You'll understand.
If someone's like listening in the car and their husband just hopped in the car, they're like, "What is this man
what
talking
are you
about?"
Listening to
Disney podcast.
But no, yeah, it was good. I know we're not bringing anything else into it, but overall the experience was good. The theming and everything really tied it all together and
just made me happy.
Made for a good hotel.
Yeah, it just all made me happy the whole time. I was very happy and I felt like I was in Disney the whole time, which is just, that's what I look for, and I loved it.
I agree.
Yeah, felt like I was in Disney, felt like I was on vacation. Mm-hmm. So that's a win for me.
Yep.
Like I said, there was just those little bits with those long walks that I was like, this is where I'm going to take points away.
Yeah.
But all in all, I did really love the resort. And now, getting off the overall experience, I just want to close it by saying I did really love the resort, but I stand by what I said, that the price of it is kind of crazy considering it's a value resort.
Yeah.
So do with that information. Yeah.
Is what's happening.
Do with that information what you will. If it's in your budget and it's something that you can afford not to worry about it, yes, it's worth it. 100%. It's a great resort. But I wouldn't stretch your budget to get there. Fair. You can also stay at Pop Century and then take your kid over and let them run around in the Lion King area and let them run around in the Cars area. You don't have to be staying there to go to it.
Yeah.
And your kid's not going to know the difference if they're not sleeping in the Cars room. They don't know what the Cars rooms look like.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can still take them over there but stay at a resort that's significantly cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay, but real quick before we end it. So our overall ratings. So that means you overall rated it a 51 out of 70.
Okay.
And I rated it a 51.5 out of 70. So real close.
That is really close.
I actually thought yours was going to be rated higher. I felt like I was harder on it than you were. I don't know how that math worked, but it did. But it did. Now, where that falls with the other resorts, it's definitely on the lower end. With how we rated the other resorts, you guys can go back and listen to all of them. But to give you a little bit of a clue, I think the theming really helped it.
Yeah.
It did get rated above Pop Century.
Okay.
But below any of the deluxe or moderate resorts that we've done so far.
That's fair. I feel like that's how it should be.
Yeah. But it is above Pop Century, which is the value resort that's right across the lake.
Gotcha.
That's all I have, though.
Yeah. Great experience. Great time. Don't know when I'll be doing it again, though.
I really want that like Nemo cheesecake mousse thing that we got.
I want that coffee cake again.
The coffee cake was so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
All right, everybody. But again, happy Thanksgiving. If you're listening to this on Friday, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for hanging out with us at Back to the Magic. We'll be back soon with more Disney and Universal stories, tips, tricks, and all that fun.
But until then, here's always finding your way back to the magic.